So, in terms of the future of retail, nothing has changed. It's going to be a short presentation. Really, people still have needs and wants, and they still need to have a place to get those. But at the same time, everything has changed. If you think about the impact of technology today, the smartphone, the Internet of Things arriving at retail, it really is going to make a massive impact and really change the very nature of what we understand as retail today. But before we go forward, it sometimes helps to go back. So let's talk a little bit, first of all, about customer service, something we all sort of know about in the world of retail. And this is a picture from about 1900, 1901, somewhere around there, taken in America, but it really could have been taken anywhere. This is customer service as we probably still know it today, and it's 100+ years old. If we fast forward to the 1950s, the advent and the invention of the phone had a huge impact then. People, for the first time, could have a real-time conversation with a retailer, with a personal shopper that could order things for them and have them sent to their home. So that was customer service as we knew it. It's being redefined now by technology. And to give you an initial sense of how it's being redefined, think for a moment about IKEA, a huge global international brand, and they have introduced a concept called the gopher. So you go into the store with your smartphone, you pair up with a backroom employee, and as you start to go through the store, you simply tap with your phone the items you're interested in buying, and you're able to see those things go onto your list, and they're being curated and put together by the backroom employee to arrive at the front. You simply check out, no need to go into the register, and you're on your way. But at the same time, one of the things we've noticed, and this is echoed by the IKEA experience, and now we're looking at an Eatsa restaurant in San Francisco. What we're learning is millennials, this is the generation that was brought up on the screen, on web, and really self-directed in every aspect of their interaction with brands and products. And there's some evidence that they're less inclined to want to interact with another human being in all instances. So here's a great example. This is Eatsa, as I say. It's a restaurant that has no customer service whatsoever. You go in, you use a terminal, you make your selections, and then you're told which numbered box your food will arrive at. Even the founder of Eatsa says it's not really a restaurant, it's a food delivery system. And they're even looking at automating some of the backroom aspects of that restaurant experience. And then, of course, what look at the future would be complete without robots? And we're already seeing this really starting to enter the world of retail. For the last year in Toronto, Lowe's, the home supplies company, has been testing a couple of robot systems that literally, first of all, the robot itself can see. It has an image recognition system so that you simply hold up an FSI or an object or a picture, and it will lead you to the aisle in which you will find that object or that picture. As recently as last week, Best Buy in New York launched Chloe. This is a robot that even looks kind of like the manufacturing type robot. And what it does is, again, kiosk-based technology. I'm looking for a DVD or a game title. And out of 30,000 choices, I make my selection, and Chloe goes, grabs that title, and brings it back. The advantage, of course, is the store doesn't have to be open. It can stock a lot more product in a very small space because there's no need for browsing. So very quick and an interesting use of robotics in retail. But then we get into what I might call the sort of creepy end of where robotics could go in terms of retail. So this is a greeter in a department store in Japan. It was created by Toshiba, and it is the first of that type of human-like robotic greeter, interpersonal customer service systems. Let's now look at payment. So we've taken a look, we know what we want, we're going to pay for our product. So again, going back in time, just to get a sense of how much this world has changed, it was 1200 BC that shells were first used as a means of trade to avoid having to do barter. 1000 BC, the Chinese invented the first paper bill, a note. And fast forward again to the 1950s, and now we have the emergence of the credit card and all of the things that brought to our ability to pay. Today, the world we're entering into is one in which we're trying to create frictionless commerce, where there is absolutely no barrier between you and making your purchase. So what does that mean? If you're familiar, this is the Amazon Dash button. It is magnetic. It sticks to the side of your, let's say, in this instance, your washing machine. And when you're starting to run low on a easily replenished item, simply press the Tide Dash button, and with you having to do no more at all, through comes the product straight to your home. That's the kind of frictionless commerce, whether it's literally the Dash button or something else that we're really talking about. And then all of the major manufacturers and car manufacturers right now are building into the cars the ability to pay as you go through the world. We already know the car knows where you are. It knows whether it's running out of gas. If you're hungry, it knows where the nearest restaurant is. Why not go the next step and have it pay for you, and you actually don't even need to step out of the car to make a payment? And then all of the major social media platforms this year introduced a buy button. So whether it be Pinterest, where you're starting to gather things you're interested in, and why not make it so easy that I'm interested in this, I have a passion for this, and now I want to make a purchase of something. Or YouTube, where video is being used, and they're creating hotspots where you simply click on an item, let's say it could be a piece of apparel being worn by somebody, and straight through to make that purchase. All the way to, and again, I guess there's a theme here, it starts to feel a little on the creepy end of things, the use of the heartbeat as an identifier for you to make a purchase. Apparently, our heartbeat is as unique a signature as our fingerprints. So already the NIMI band is looking at how we can use that as a means of making payment. And then let's take a look at vending. Sounds sort of 20th century at best, but it's taking a leap forward. So back in 215 BC, a mathematician called Hero invented the world's first, as far as we can tell, vending machine. It was for holy water in Egypt. Put a coin in the slot, and a little splash of holy water would be vended. The Adams Company realized around 1888 that the subway system in New York had these moments, these sort of 5-minute dead points where people were just standing waiting for a train. So they introduced the gum machine. So let's look at vending 2.0. What's technology doing here? So here we are in the UK with Walker's Crisps, and a number of bus shelters had a vending machine, which if you tweeted from that location the right code, you would get an instant vend. And therefore you're telling the world where you are, what you're doing, and how that works. And then Nike, this is one of my favorites. Test they did in New York. So it's a vending machine. You go up to it, no cash can get vending, no credit card. The only way you can get it to vend is if you have a Nike Plus wearable that shows you've used enough calories or run enough miles. And then getting even further out, this is the idea of a virtual vending machine. Think of it as a virtual or a pop-up store. So Peak Performance, which is an apparel, sort of an outdoor apparel company, developed what they call the Magic Hour. You were told when and where you needed to be to get total access to free items from their website. The only issue is that the Magic Hour is dusk or dawn, and usually on the top of a mountain or a lighthouse or an island. So if you're the kind of person who can get to that at dawn, you're going to be able to get some free product from them. Great way to tell you about their brand and what it stands for. So a little bit of kind of extreme form of what vending can mean. And then how about delivery? There's been a lot of talk recently about delivery in terms of how we get products brought to us. The talk of drones arriving from Amazon with products for us has been out there. If you look back, literally, I think 3 or 4 blocks from here, in the late 19th century, Montgomery Ward was starting up and using the catalog as a way for the first time to have product delivered to your home by request. And that would take a matter of weeks. Then we thought, well, actually, that's a long time. We really need it in days, maybe even the next day. And now we expect things, frankly, even faster. So the next day is not good enough. It needs to be Uber rushed to me, using the infrastructure of the Uber system to actually bring a product straight to me. Or Google Express that just arrived in Chicago recently has been tested in New York. Again, same day, if not within the hour. And then, of course, Prime Now, which is Amazon's answer of bringing a certain discrete set of products within an hour. But guess what? That's not fast enough for us. So already we're starting to see that over the next 5 years, the next generations of appliances, particularly things like refrigerators, are going to start to predict what we need, our consumption patterns, and start to order things ahead of time before we even know we need them. So it might, check in the fridge, do we have sufficient milk, and then pre-order milk so that it's there before we even need it, which is a lot like it used to be maybe 120 years ago. So things change, things stay the same. Okay, I'm now going to ask for a volunteer. Does anybody, first of all, 2 criteria, real easy criteria. You need to have a Twitter account that you use fairly regularly, and you need to be okay about people seeing your nails up on the screen, your fingernails. Come on, who wants to do it? Come on. No? No? Anybody? Must be a raised hand somewhere. Okay, come on up. Thank you so much. This is the sort of the magic show part of the day. All right. Hello there. I'm Nick. What's your name?
I'm Ashley.
Ashley, so nice to meet you. So first of all, can you just confirm we have never met before today?
No, we've never met.
And I have no way of knowing what you would do in the next few minutes.
No, not at all.
All right, so let's give it a try. I'm going to lend you my phone, and all I want you to do is hold the phone and point it at that poster over there. See the poster right here? That's fine. Just hold that and point it at the poster. Okay, and just give it a few seconds. Just hold it in front of the poster. That's fine. Right. There's the color show. Okay, now tap on the color show. Okay. Now it says align your hand to the outline on the photo, so it's going to want to take a picture of your fingernails, sort of like this, like your hands like that. And then turn them sort of angled way. You might need to do the other ones, the other hand maybe. It's so easy. I'm just kidding, it's not really. Everybody's had the same problem doing this. You want me? I'll hold it for you. You ready? You just hold your. I'm going to back up a bit. Oops. Okay, go a bit closer. Here we go. Let's give it a try. Okay. Right, now it's going to let you move those nails anywhere onto your hand. All right. It's not as easy as it looks, everybody. And you're so good to come up in the first place. Perfect, look at that, look how good that looks. Now you can click the arrow, this one here. Oops, that's okay, just pick a color. There we go. Now click the arrow. Different colors. Fantastic, all right, that's great. So you get a sense of where this could go, and you get to try it out. Lovely. All right, next, this is where I do the sort of mind-reading part of the magic act, if you will. We're going to come over here, and this is where we get to use your Twitter handle. You know your Twitter handle?
I do.
Okay, just type it right in there. That's okay. No pressure. There's only about 400 people watching you.
I only have to spell my own name.
Okay, so what it did in that split second is it went out to IBM's Watson. It looked at 200 of your last tweets, looked for words to get a profile of you, compared it to 52 other profiles of personalities that they have on the system, and brings back that you have imagination, intellect, and openness. Does that seem about right?
Sure.
There you go. And based on that, it actually picks a bike that is the right bike for you. And you can imagine that could be for any product, but it's using your personality to predict what kind of bike you should buy. All right? And last but not least, we're going to go over here. And you imagine this is a retail environment, it's selling perfume, and you're interested in one of those fragrances. Go ahead and pick up one. You can pick any.
No, I'm deciding.
Okay. And you see the plane's taken off, and it's flying to Morocco. It's telling you a little bit about the scent and the sort of provenance of the fragrance. And if you tap it, it's going to tell you a little bit more about it. And so what we found is that you're 40 to 60% more likely to buy that product just because you picked it up. There you go. All right, you can put it back down. Oh, she's really getting into this sort of being a shopper here. That's fantastic. Ashley, thank you so much. Give her a round of applause, please. Okay, so we've given you a quick whistle-stop tour and shown you a few examples of what's happening in the world of retail.